Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So, with the, I guess, the scrutiny on the game at the moment and the questionable patching and things like that, I thought I'd bring just a little bit of positivity into the atmosphere for Path of Exile 2. And in doing that, in the last video that I put out, I basically put it out there for any creators that were keen to put their builds forwards, including small creators and new creators. I was more than happy to put up showcases moving forwards, and fortunately, I have exactly that. Five, I guess, showcase builds to put up to give you ideas on things you can do, approaches and attacks to the game. And, I mean to say there was some discussion in the last video around, oh, this is a vision build and that's not a vision build. Well, I'll leave that up to you to determine. But that being said, a number of these creators are smaller creators, so make sure you pop by the channel and check them out. And don't forget to drop them a like and a sub to the video, and they'll also answer your questions and all that sort of jazz. And of course, I've included Anime Princess in this list because his builds are dope. And anyway, hey Anime, I hope you don't mind me adding in this list again. But anyway, let's get into 5 more community showcase builds that you could try in the 0.20 Path of Exile 2 patch that we're currently in right now. Okay, so the first build that we've got on the list for today is the Bloodbarrier Corrupted Blood Warbringer by Zeph. And basically how this works is it's centralized around the use of the Bloodbarrier Iron Buckler, which is a unique shield which basically does inflict corrupted blood for 5 seconds on block, dealing 50% of your maximum life as physical damage. Now we obviously use war cries on this, so this is a war cry setup on the Warbringer as well, so we do explode corpses and everything else in between. And essentially what this build does is it applies corrupted blood, and then you basically want to maintain a high level of stacks on the enemy to deplete their life quicker. Now, some ideas to improve this build even further is trying to use things like trample toes and whatnot would all push this build up even further. And it does take advantage of the Hammer of Faith, which I've been looking for a build for a while, which does take advantage of this. And what this essentially does is it gives you a random shrine buff every 10 seconds. Now, a few other things is it does appear to drag enemies towards you as well, based on the gloves used in the build, and it does use the Veil of the Night, which I've actually not seen a build use that in quite some time, which is a unique helm, which basically gives you no resistances and you're totally reliant on Chaos Res. Overall, really cool build. I'll also add that it does stack up an absolute metric ton of life as well, so he's got about 4,500 to 4,600 life on this build, and overall it's just a really cool build. He does also use the Anvil, and then maximize block up to about 83%, which is pretty good, which makes it quite tanky too. But yeah, really cool build. Also, really new creator onto the scene. I expect there's going to be plenty of cool stuff that he comes out with in the future. So make sure you pop by his channel, drop him a sub, drop him a like, and yeah, hit him up about any questions you've got about his build on his channel. Okay, so the next build we've got is from UncleJay. Now, this one's actually one that's close to my heart because, as anyone who's followed my channel for some time knows, I love the item Blackflame, in particular from Path of Exile 1. It was one of my all-time favorite builds using Blackflame and Detonate Dead. And essentially, this is doing exactly that, except with the Beerer's Anguish setup that we saw last week in the video that I put up. In particular, curating it back to the original creator who made that tech, I guess, if you want to call it. Except now we're using the Pragmatism, which means charms have no charges, which essentially gives you infinite charge usage. And then the Black Flame Ring, which does basically what it did in Path of Exile 1, which allows you to ignite enemies and then convert that ignite to Chaos Ignite, which just rips through enemies like nothing else. Overall, this is a really cool build, quite tanky as well. Really cool if you want to play like a Chaos RF sort of setup, but a very different take on the Beerer's Anguish configuration. Cost-wise, it would require a little bit of an investment, but overall, UncleJay's got a pretty good build. He's got a Mobalytics link up, also the POVs on his video as well, with a bit of a leveling guide and everything else in between. But yeah, if you want to get a bit of a different idea of maybe you want to play a Chaos version of the Beerer's Anguish setup, then this would be a really good, I guess, technical setup to follow to do exactly that. Okay, so we've got another Warbringer in this list of builds this time around. This one is actually made by Mighty Mouth DFT. Now, the video he's put up is a relatively new video, and also be nice to him, he's making Path of Exile content on a console too, which is definitely a unique approach. Now, I've been speaking to Mighty, and he's still sort of figuring things out with getting POBs and stuff like that. So just be nice to him and patient. But make sure you post up in the comments if you've got questions and stuff like that on his video. The link will be down below. Now, the setup that he's actually running uses the Empire Grasp Titan Mitts and Thorns on the Warbringer, and then essentially uses War Cries to pull enemies towards you, which then allows them to hit you and then proc Thorns and explode them. Now, the character that he's running is actually on console, it's level 93, which is why you can see a bit of jitter in the footage in front of us. But it basically uses things like Crown of the Power King, which is a pretty standard item that's used on Thorns builds now. The Thorns boots, I can't remember their name, but they're awesome, and I use them on all my Thorns builds, and this one in particular uses the Surveillant as well. Now, he's been farming quite a bit of endgame content with this, and overall, it's just a really cool Warbringer setup and build. Now, his video is very short, but it gets to the point, which is something that I really like about really short build guides. And it covers off on all the basics, such as goes through skill gems and all the rest of it. You will have to follow through in the video just because there's no links currently on the video. But I'm sure that over time, Mighty Mouth will add that in and provide that in due course. Overall, really cool build, really cool take on the build, and make sure you check his channel out and drop him a like and a sub on his video and his channel. And yeah, overall, would recommend as another cool option to check out and maybe do something really cool with. If you could do some fire conversion with this setup, that'd be even better because you could use Infernal Cry in the configuration as well. But yeah, that'd be build number 3 on this list. So the next one is a very interesting build, and I actually sort of want to play it or do something with the tech because it's amazing. Now, I'm a big fan of Incinerate because I put together a really good Incinerate Delve build in Path of Exile 1, and this is an Incinerate Pathfinder. Now, the best thing about this also is it uses Blackflame. So it's a Chaos Incinerate Pathfinder. Now, it has a few synergies going on, including Sandstorm Visage and whatnot. I should add, this is made by a creator by the name of Tripan, so there'll be a link in the description to his channel as well. He's also a newer creator. The thing that I love the most about his build is there is an OG build guide, written guide on the forums, on the Path of Exile forums, and I haven't seen one of those in quite some time, and I freaking respect it like nothing else because it's bringing me back to the old days of making build guides and whatnot. Now, there is a POB and everything included in the links below, and a poe2.db link as well, which is actually quite a good build creator system built into that, to be honest with you. But yeah, basically it goes through all the gear and everything that you'll need. His guide's pretty good as an overall. Obviously, there's a written guide which gives you all the information, as well as a crit version of the POB as well, which is really useful to go by, which just gives you a bit more damage at the end of the day and actually uses Unwavering Stance. As an overall, you can see in the V-roll that he's actually completed endgame pinnacle content with this, and the build can come online as early as level 16 as well, using Incinerate. Now, it is quite tanky. There is a second POB that I actually found for this one, because I didn't actually find this guide initially. I found a POB at the top of the Pathfinder list, because Pathfinder is like one of the least played ascendancies right now in the current patch. Funnily enough, it has some of the coolest builds, and in fact, I'm doing a Poison Thorns Pathfinder as we speak. But that being said, I'll put a link to the POB that I found to the character sheet as well in the description, which is a little bit different from the one that Tripan has actually included, but also all the vid links and everything for Tripan's video will be in the description below for you to have a look at and check out. Overall, just a really cool build by a really interesting build creator, and definitely go by his channel, check it out, and drop him a like and a sub while you're at it. So the last build that I have you guys on this list is by Anime Princess. Now, I've featured anime on many of these videos, mainly because these builds are pretty well bloody made, to be honest with you. There's a full detailed breakdown of why Storm Mages in particular within the video, not to mention a total mobalytics link as well, with the whole build fleshed out and broken down with all the information that you could possibly need. Overall, he notes the build as being pretty fast at mapping, basically no buttons, so easy on the hands, pretty good at bossing, and very tanky with about 10k plus energy shield. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it with this build. It's just overall a very solid build if you're looking to play minions. Despite minions did cop a bit of a nerf in the patch notes, they've since been sort of elevated back up. And this would be definitely one to look at if you were looking at a sort of minion style gameplay style. Now, he does use Venter's Gambles as well, which is probably going to be a positive rarity roll on both of those. And you can sort of gear this pretty early on at a reasonable level to get it cracking. So it's not the most expensive build in the world. It's when you really push it to that end point that you really get to where you've got to start investing into it. Overall, that being said, the overall guide itself has a ton of information about all the items that you'll need, in particular breakdowns of all the offhand weapon options, amulet, anoint options, and there's multiple options that you can take on this build, and overall just a ridiculous amount of information that will make you a mathematical master of understanding how Skeletal Storm Mages works, because that's pretty much on brand for NMA's builds, which is an insane amount of detail and basically covering off on all bases. Anyway, make sure you go by his channel, check out his channel, and drop a like and a sub to his video and channel. And yeah, this would be the last build that I'm going to feature in this list for this time. Alright, so I hope this video gives you some more ideas if you're looking for builds to sort of look up in poe.ninja, or just some general ideas in general. There are some creative options and utilizations of unique items that players are coming up with, and I just wanted to showcase some of that. There is more build variety than what people are sort of arguing and letting on out there in the community. Now, I would say this, some people will say these aren't zoom builds and you're not dropping a boss in 2 clicks. I actually don't agree that that's the way that Path of Exile 2 should be played, nor even Path of Exile 1. I think there should be a little bit of effort required to gear up and, you know, spec into the right build to be able to take on the end game. Most of my criteria really elevate towards being able to do T15 plus maps and bosses. Is basically where my headspace is for where you should be with a build to get it to end game and call it an end game viable build. Now, that being said, if you are a new creator or just a creator in general and you're looking at getting your builds out there and showcased and in front of people, feel free to reach out to me on Discord or any other means, or in the comments section of these videos. I'm more than happy to work on these moving forwards, and maybe we'll make this a rolling series and do this a bit more consistently than just at the start of leagues or in special events and stuff like that. But until then, I'll see you guys later, and also don't forget to like and sub to my channel, and all the links to the creators will be down below in the description as per normal, and I will see you guys next time and on stream.